Several drinks later, Han was feeling a little buzzed and enjoying the euphoric feeling. To prevent him from transitioning to being drunk, he set his body to resist a certain level of alcohol. This made it so that Han could enjoy drinking as much as he wanted without getting wasted. He wished that he had this ability back when he was in school and going to all those fraternity and sorority parties. "What brings you to a pub, drinking by yourself?" the bartender asked after many of the patrons had left for the night. "You could say that I just felt like enjoying the night. Just me and my thoughts," he said to her. "For such a young man, what's got you bothered so much?" she joked, keeping the mood pleasant. "I think about where I should go. Before, I would just try to follow what my parents were planning for me, and I have the opportunity to pave my own way," he said out loud. The bartender thought about his words as she started cleaning the different glasses. "Sounds like you're in a pretty good situation," she remarked. "Yes, you could say that," Han laughed, looking at the bartender. He had a thought. "What do you think about this world?" he casually asked her. "What do you mean?" she asked, looking a little confused. "What have your experiences been like, day to day? Are there things you wish were different? Or are you okay with how the world is like?" he followed up. Looking for how to respond to his questions, she took a moment to think about it. "The one thing I would say is that I sometimes wish this world was a little more welcoming," she said at last. "How so?" Now it's Han's turn to be confused. "It just feels like this world is set up so that everyone is always worried about what the future holds. Regardless of whether you're a commoner or noble, there lies a certain degree of anxiety which contributes towards people acting selfishly. It would be nice if a situation where people could happily live with one another could appear." Her face looked happy, thinking about such a romantic idea. "That would be a nice world to live in," he agreed. As they talked about various topics, the bartender had to close up the shop. Feeling a little like a gentleman, Han offered to help her close up her business for the night. All of her employees had already left for the night, so she was left with doing some final work before closing up the shop. Exiting the pub, the two of them stood in the dark. All the other shops had closed for the night, so the only illumination was from the stars. "With it being so dark, how about I walk you to your home?" Han offered her. "Thank you. I would appreciate that greatly. Whenever the city goes to sleep, it makes heading back home a little apprehensive," she said to Han. "Oh my, I forgot to tell you my name during this entire time," the bartender said, laughing at how forgetful she was. "My name is Hannah, and I am the owner of the Wandering Traveler." "Hello, Hannah. I am Han E, and you can just call me E," he introduced himself. The two of them walked through the dark streets, with the occasional streetlight providing some relief from the dark. Their footsteps seemed to echo in the darkness. Han thought about how different a fantasy world was like compared to a modern city. Where he lived, the city never seemed to sleep and had shops that were always open. In this place, there didn't appear to be anyone that was still awake. Hannah told him that she lived within the residential area of the outer city. Compared to the rest of the city, the residential area seemed to look worn down in the dark. There was a slight stench in the air, likely from improper waste disposal. "I apologize for asking you to walk me home," Hannah sounded guilty once the smell started to become prevalent. "You do not need to apologize. What kind of person could I be, having a lady walk to her home, alone and in the dark?" he told her cheerfully. "Seems like there are still gentlemen out in the world," Hannah laughed, sounding more relaxed. Her home was a small two-story building, with a stairway on the side leading to another door. I live on the upper half of this building, she explained to him. As she stepped on the stairway, getting ready to go up to her home, she turned around and said, Thank you for being a gentleman and walked me back to my home. Watching as she walked up the stairs and entered into her home, Han turned towards the street and started to walk back to his place where people were waiting for him.
I think that we should give it one more try.